Hey, welcome to a new episode of Worlds Collide, the podcast about moving abroad. I am your host, Viktoria. Welcome. So everybody who is new here and was looking for the Worlds Collide wrestling podcast, this is not it. This is a podcast about stories of moving to a new country. But of course, you're still welcome to listen to this podcast as well. Wrestling, moving abroad, it's kind of the same sometimes. All right. But anyway, so this week's episode is with my guest, Christina, and she moved from Canada to Hungary, but also she made a few other stops along the way. Yeah, let's listen to her story and find out how she likes Hungary or Budapest and which cities in Europe she liked the most and why she wanted to move to Europe in the first place. And also we chat a little bit about Christmas and Christmas differences in different cultures because it's Christmas time. All right. Here is the full story. Here is Christina. All right. My guest today is Christina. Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing, Victoria?
I'm doing good. Thank you. So where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from Canada. I'm from the West Coast, from Vancouver, but I haven't lived there in about 8.5 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I heard that you lived at a few different kinds of places.
Yes.
So what's your story there?
Okay. So in 2017, it was just one of those weird things where I was in Paris crying, saying, I think I want to move to Europe. I don't know what to do. My job, my this, my that. And my friend gave me advice, which seemed really unhelpful. He's like, when you get home, you'll know what to do. I got home and I got a buyout from my contract at work. I was made redundant. And then I used that money to get my work visa and I moved to London. And I thought I'll give it 6 months. And 8.5 years and 4 European countries later, I'm talking to you now in Budapest and I have my EU passport and my life is now here. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, wow. So I'm just going to step back a little bit. So when you when you went to London, did you go with a job or without a job?
I was without a job. I just did a working holiday visa that you can get if you're a Canadian citizen.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. And then it just kind of, after 3 weeks, I was walking down the street and I was like, I don't want to move home. And then through Ancestry, it all unfolded. Yeah. With the passport process.
Okay. So you had like some ancestors that were like somewhere from Europe.
Yeah. All of my grandparents were all immigrants in Canada from Europe. So, yeah.
And did you know that before?
Yes, I did. Yes. Yeah. There was some links. Actually, you're from Germany. My mom's half German and half Swedish. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so how long did you stay in London?
I was in London for just under 2 years. And then at that point, I was in love with a French guy. So I accidentally moved to Paris.
Accidentally.
Yeah. Yeah. I was supposed to stay for 3 weeks and I ended up staying for a year with some traveling in between. And then I realized Paris just isn't for me. So Amsterdam was calling and then I moved to Amsterdam.
Okay. How long did you stay there?
I was there for just under 2 years.
Okay.
Well.
And like what kinds of jobs did you do when you were like traveling around?
Yeah, so when I was in very different. So when I was in London, I was working kind of as a temp, also as a project manager. And then in Amsterdam, I was managing a yoga studio and teaching yoga. So and now I'm a psychologist in Budapest.
Okay, so all completely different.
Yeah, totally different. Yeah.
Yes. So what draw you to those places? I mean, okay, like Paris for like a person, but like why London in the beginning?
I was studying abroad in 2010 in northern France, and I did a little trip to London, a couple actually, and I just fell in love with it. I thought this is the coolest place in the entire world. I want to live here. And then I went back to Canada and life kind of happened. And then all of a sudden it was the moment. So I just did it. And I was just like, I'll give it 6 months and see how it goes. And yeah, so after Amsterdam, I moved to Budapest. So I've actually been moving even more. And I'm working and living now kind of even as a digital nomad, but all my clients are based in the EU. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
always in the European time zone, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and why then Budapest?
Yeah, everybody is very confused. I mean, it's not common that people move from Amsterdam to Budapest. Usually it's the opposite. I had decided to go back to school to study psychology when I was living in London. I just wasn't happy in the corporate world, and my father
Sure.
passed away. It was just, again, kind of like just felt like the right thing to do. And I had a list of things I wanted in a master's program, and randomly Budapest had a program that had everything that I wanted. I moved here thinking it would just be for 2 years. I'd be in and out, and it's been 3.5 years now, and it's my base, and I have my community here, and I don't know how long I'll stay, but I have also been saying that for a year and a half now. So like, let's see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you speak the language?
No, I don't speak any Hungarian. And I feel like kind of bad saying this, but kind of not. So Hungarian's actually the hardest language to learn in
It's
Europe.
I don't want to say it, but it's also like a weird mix of languages. It
There's
sounds
no,
very
yeah,
different. It doesn't
yeah,
sound like Slavic. It
no.
doesn't sound like Germanic,
It's
or it's like
yeah,
this
yeah.
whole thing.
It's its own thing, all on its own. Yeah. So I'm not taking language classes because I took classes for French when I was living in Paris, and I got to like
Mm-hmm.
B1, B2, and
Okay.
yeah, in French. I think that because of that, I know like the commitment and the motivation, and I have quite a few friends actually who are Hungarian,
Uh-huh.
and none of my Hungarian friends have any issue speaking to me in English. But yeah, it is kind of bad, I guess. 3.5 years, no Hungarian. And I also have a Hungarian passport because my German grandfather was actually born here.
Uh-huh.
So I'm a real imposter. I'm a fake Hungarian. Yeah.
Like a fake
Yeah.
Hungarian.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the program was in English then, I
Yes.
assume, right?
Yes. That was number one like factor we needed was a program
Y-
in English. Yeah.
yes. And then so why did you then decide to stay? What did you like so much?
I think like for me, Budapest is the perfect size city. I can get around everywhere super easily. I find the locals very like for compared to, sorry to anybody who's Dutch or French, love you, but much easier day to day to kind of deal with. I also too I feel awful as well saying this because of course I'm a foreigner, but I used to live in Vancouver, which is the opposite. The Canadians are, the locals, and we have foreigners coming and moving up prices, but it's also very affordable for me. So yeah, just having my community here, liking the locals, liking the city. I like a lot of the arts here. They have really cool
Uh-huh.
music scene and stuff, and it's a beautiful city. So I don't know, it just makes sense, Victoria. Right now it makes sense. And when it doesn't make sense anymore, I'll go somewhere else, I think. Yeah.
Okay, do you remember like how you got started though? Like when you did you move into like housing from the university, or like did you find like a
No.
apartment with roommates, or
Yeah, like I mean, in London, I lucked out because somebody that I knew from when I lived in France, one of my French friends at the time, gave me a contact for somebody who was looking for a flatmate. So in London, I had all European flatmates. And then in Budapest, I was gonna rent my apartment that I ended up moving into on Airbnb, and then I canceled. And I asked if she knew anybody subletting or renting a one bedroom, and she said, "I'll rent this place to you." So I was there for 3 years, and then I just randomly found the place I'm in now that I love. I found it on Facebook Marketplace. So in Budapest, finding a place for
okay.
me has been very easy, but in case anyone's feeling a little bit jealous, in Amsterdam, it was a total nightmare. And I
Yeah.
moved like 3 times, 4 times in the span of 2 years. So
Okay.
I've paid my dues. Yeah.
But is it also then like maybe a reason why you wanted to move to a different place where it's not so hard finding housing?
No, it had nothing to do with that. Like if I want
Okay.
to go somewhere, I'll figure it out. I'm resourceful, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there like something though that you find hard to get used to in Budapest, or in, I don't know, Hungary maybe in general?
So because it's been like 8.5 years, and it's been 4 countries. When I moved to Hungary, my baseline had changed a lot. Like I came and I already knew that things are going to be taking forever. It's going to be bureaucratic. It's not going to make a lot of sense. Like it took me my first week here, like an hour to return or exchange like a pillowcase at H&M Home. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, so I kind of knew that and was very, very patient. I think the hardest place in that way to move, in my experience, was actually France, just because they have so much bureaucracy there. And when I was setting everything up, I didn't speak the language very
Sure.
well. And I find that in Paris, they're not quite as forgiving as they are in Budapest. So
Uh-huh.
that would be the hardest place, I think.
And okay, so it's just because of the famous nature of the French.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I found France was the most challenging. Holland was really easy to set up. London was really easy. Budapest was kind of, I guess you could argue, a pain, but as I said, the baseline had changed at that point, and I just kind of like was like, this is going to be annoying to get set up in the beginning, but once I'm set up, everything's going to be fine.
So do you know, like, in case you are not a European passport holder, like how hard is it to move to Hungary or like
Very hard.
yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Viktor Orban, famously, most famous dictator in the
Yeah,
EU, does not love foreigners. So it's very challenging. There's no digital nomad visa here. It's hard to get a visa. It's even to get residency. I know people who've been here for a number of years, and they changed the laws. He's also changed it too, so you have to have a level of Hungarian now. So it's very challenging here.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. Was that ever like a problem for you to have to move to a country with a dictator?
I am in the bubble of Budapest. So Budapest is a pretty
Mhm.
liberal city.
Yeah.
So for here it's okay, but yeah, it doesn't really sit well with me, when
Mhm.
because he has propaganda campaigns every year.
Sure.
So that can be sad to see. And then and in addition to that, I don't agree with, being so harsh towards the LGBTQ community. I have a lot of friends
Sure.
who are part of that community, and a lot of my clients, as my
Sure.
psychology clients, are as
Yes.
well too. And I think that being inclusive and giving gay people the same rights as straight people is very important. So
Yeah.
I don't like that part of it at all.
Yeah. Would this kind of like, I don't know, force is not the right word, but would this be a reason for you to find a different place where it's a little bit more welcome
Um,
for minorities?
Well, as I said, in Budapest is pretty liberal. So
Mm-hmm.
I have quite a few friends in Budapest who are like parts of minorities, and they have a very comfortable lifestyle in Hungary. But I think if I was not in Budapest, then I probably, like, let's
You
say there was another big city in Hungary, which, to be honest, there's not. But if there was, I don't think I would stay in the country.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah.
It's the same. Like I'm in Austin, so
Okay.
I feel like it's like the same. I mean, it's like the liberal bubble here, and then
Yeah.
like if you go out of it, it's like a different world.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That's actually a really good comparison, because I've actually been to Austin and I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, totally. It's very similar, actually. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what you're doing. So you are a psychiatrist and a therapist,
Psychologist. I'm a psychologist. Yes.
psychologist. Okay, sorry.
No worries. Okay.
Okay, so you're a psychologist for
Yeah.
expats, especially.
Yeah, so actually, all my clients are all expats, or digital nomads, but most of them are expats that are living in Europe. Most of them speak English as their first language, but some of them
Mm-hmm.
actually don't. I have a few who speak it as their second language.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of the niche that I've fallen into, and I really, really enjoy it a lot. It's awesome.
Okay, so what are usually in general like the problems of expats why they want to reach out to you?
hmm Well, the main reason why they want to reach out to me is because I know what it's like to be an expat. So I'm not going to give them, a big monologue about how brave they are, or how, if they're a woman, they're breaking patriarchy by living in another country, because I'm
Sure,
doing it
sure.
as well too, right? So I think that the other thing too is, like, one of the issues that comes up a lot with expats, obviously, is guilt around not being around, aging parents and missing things at home. And obviously I can understand that, and I can really validate that for them. But expats are just like, obviously any other people who have problems, anxieties, different mental health symptoms, and need support. So I think that for them, it's just kind of, from a lot of people, just a bonus that I know what it's like to live in Europe. I've probably visited or even lived, even if it's just for like a month or so, in the country that they are living in as well. So there's a lot of shared perspective there.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a nice bonus.
Yeah.
And is it really hard for expats in Europe to find English-speaking therapists, you think?
Yeah, I think it depends on the country that they're in. Absolutely, the region that they're in. It can be a challenge. I know some expats do speak with their therapists at home, but again, there's that piece of sometimes, aspects of their life being misunderstood by the therapist in their home country, which is why, again, I think that it can cause a lot of people to reach out to somebody like me. I'm not the only, English speaking therapist who does telehealth in Europe, but but I think that there is a comfort there for sure.
Sure. Yes. So so you only practice online?
Yes, my practice is entirely remote. Yeah.
And how do people find you?
I'm pretty active on Substack now. I'm posting, on different social media channels like Facebook and LinkedIn. I also have had clients reach out to me because of CEO, like Google and ChatGPT, and a lot of stuff now is coming from word of mouth. A lot of my clients are referring me to their friends, and I really, really appreciate that. So that's awesome.
Yeah. But you also have a website, right?
Oh yeah, sorry, of course. Yes, I'm skipping over the main thing. Yes, I have a website. Yes, ChristinaBabbage.com, and you can find information about me there and schedule a session and all of that there. Absolutely.
Okay, so I make sure it's also mentioned in the show notes, so the listener can just like scroll down, and there's a link where you can find Christina.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, and then do you also talk to expats about their culture shock?
Yeah, it does come up quite a bit for sure. You become kind of, I look at it as the lens of different identities. Okay, so if we use my story that I just shared as an example, I have an identity in Canada. I had one when I lived in London. I had one in Paris. I had one in Amsterdam. And now I have one in Budapest. You could say multiple because I was a student and now I'm a psychologist. So I think that culture shock comes up, but also so does the shock of just being kind of a new person. So for example, some of my clients have met their partners in their home country, their partners from another country. And then they'll move to their partner's home country, and all of a sudden they're the partner who's foreign. So that's a huge shift. So it's not even so much just culture shock. It's also just like a shock to the dynamics and relationships changing, their job changing, like dealing with another language day to day. Like all these things can really, really impact people. Absolutely. And it also depends too on where they are in the country. One of my clients was living in a major city in the US, is American, moved to a remote kind of town or village in like the Portugal, Spain, France part of Europe, and is having a challenging time just being in a smaller space and outside of the US. So it really, it's just your whole external world changes, and then your internal world kind of comes with you. And then if you're switching, becoming a retired person, or all of a sudden becoming a parent and you're not in your home country, like things like that can impact it even more.
Yeah. So because it's not always like, moving to a different country, like sure, there's like an excitement in the beginning, but like that also changes at some point.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that I always say about after 6 weeks, because I've done this a few times, that's when I usually get like the crash of, oh my God, what am I doing here? I'm here now. I don't have any friends. I don't know anybody, because when I moved to Amsterdam and Budapest, I think I only knew one person at each move. So you literally have to build your whole life from the ground
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. But do you think it's easier when you are studying?
Um, I would argue for my situation, it wasn't
Uh-huh.
because when I did my master's in Budapest, I was quite a lot older than a lot of my peers
Oh,
were.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Sure.
I was in my mid 30s and most of them were in their like mid 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So, we didn't, and I had also already lived in 3 European countries. And for a lot of them, it was their first move away from home.
Yeah.
So, we
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
really
I
actually
mean,
have
totally
very,
different
yeah,
dynamics.
yeah. So we didn't really have a very much in common. So I didn't really build strong relationships with
Yeah.
people that I was in school with. I mean, a couple people I did, but overall it was outside of school.
Okay. That makes sense, especially
Yeah.
like when there's like a huge age gap.
Yeah. The other thing
Yeah.
too, right, is even if I had like basically everybody that I went to school with that I know of went back to their home countries after school. Where for
Mm-hmm.
me, living in Europe is my lifestyle and
Yeah.
this is my home now. So that like even if I had made friends with them, as soon as school was over, they all would have left.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah. How did you then build your own social network?
I'm somebody who kind of talks to everybody. I don't get a lot of social anxiety. So
Uh-huh.
just from, yeah, just going out to different, social events, wine bars, parties, putting myself out there and talking to people, just kind of went from there. And
Okay.
now I have a bit of a community here. Yeah.
And do you find them, let's say, through Facebook groups or something like that? It's like expat groups in Budapest because like when you are not from there and you don't speak the language, I mean you cannot
Yeah.
just go say like hi.
Yeah, when I first moved here a few years ago, yeah, I did find events on Facebook. I'm also somebody too who'll just buy like if there's a concert I want to go to, I'll just buy a ticket by
But
myself and I'll go.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so you're not
so
like me, like I'm not gonna go by myself.
no, I'll do whatever. Like if I want to do
Uh-huh.
something, yeah. So I met people. I did meet a couple friends through. I think I did a meetup from an online group, and then I actually met people through some of those people too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I think like in Amsterdam, it was more challenging because I was there during COVID, so everybody that I met was connected to the yoga studio that I managed.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was living in Paris, I had French friends. My partner at the time and I would hang out with his friends. And then I also had friends from when I studied in France. And
Mm-hmm.
then in London, it was honestly also a huge mix, like people from work, so I wouldn't say that if I was going to give advice to somebody, I wouldn't say like, oh, you should do this or do that. You should just be open and just, if you're something you want to do, like an art opening or something, like just go. And even if go and you feel uncomfortable and you just like have a drink and you leave, you still went and you're still part of the community and things can change and shift really quickly once you're just out and about doing stuff.
Okay, so you definitely just have to give it a try
Yeah, I
to go
mean,
out.
yeah, I think like once I even heard about like a really cool place to go out in Budapest just from talking to somebody when I was working in a cafe. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. How and I also wanted to ask you, did you when you moved abroad, did you also like were in need for a therapist?
No. When I first moved abroad, I had done a lot of therapy, so I was pretty good. I didn't need a therapist right away, but over the years, absolutely, I have needed
Yeah, no,
therapists.
I mean I didn't want to ask it that weird. I just wanted to
No.
ask more like, um, did you like when you were abroad and let's say you would need a therapist, like
Yeah.
how would you have found one?
Oh, that's a really
Did
good question. I when I was in Amsterdam, I wanted some support and I talked to friends there, people that I knew there and my doctor.
uh-huh.
So I think between going through formal and also informal ways of finding somebody, because it is a really important relationship because you want to find somebody that you can connect with and also
Yeah.
somebody as well too who you respect and things like that. So I think I saw a couple people in Amsterdam, but there was nobody that really like fit the shoe, so to speak, when I was
I
there.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you, so after now being abroad, such a long time, do you
Mhm.
still miss things?
From Canada?
Uh-huh.
I really miss the sushi in Vancouver a lot, and I miss the nature. Yeah, I do. Honestly, it's a huge
Yeah.
thing. And Mexican food, I really miss.
Uh-huh.
The forest and the ocean. But honestly, I'm so happy in Europe. Like even my worst day in Europe would be like with regards to being like, what am I doing with my life kind of
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah,
It
yeah.
would
Yeah.
be if I had that kind of a day, would be so much better than my day in Canada. I've never thought that I made a mistake or wanted to move back home. I'm really happy living over here, and I haven't been home in over 2 years, and I
Okay.
don't have plans to visit either. My mom loves coming to visit me here, so
Okay.
yeah. And my one of my best friends and her husband came to visit me in the spring, so I'm pretty much always over here. So yeah.
Okay. All right. That's nice. I mean, they have
Yeah.
like a nice excuse to go visit Europe.
Yeah, they all
Yeah.
anybody who is friends with me always has an excuse to come visit
Yeah.
Europe. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Hold on. And so now, of course, like Christmas is around the corner.
Mhm. Yes.
So how do you celebrate the holidays when you're abroad?
Every year it's very different. This year I'm going to see one of my best friends in Edinburgh. So I'm going to have a British Scottish Christmas and I'm super
Mm-hmm.
pumped. And I also have some friends who live in Northern England that I'm going to visit. They're in Cumbria. So I will be traveling this year. Over the last, I think it's been 8 or 9 years I've been here for Christmas. There's one that I went home, but all the other ones I've traveled. And then there's been two, I think, where oh no, maybe a few. When I was in France, I spent some with my ex-partner's family. In Budapest, I've spent some just kind of at home and then visiting friends here. But my favorite Christmases in Europe is when I'm going to visit one of my friends in another country and get to kind of hang out with them and just have, wine and really great food and listen to Christmas music and see what the customs are in the place that they're living. One of my favorite visits was a trip to Switzerland just because they have incredible Christmas markets there,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really really cool spending the holidays there one year.
Yeah. So how are the customs for Christmas different in Budapest?
Well, I haven't actually had like a true Hungarian Christmas, but if I was going to speak kind of like globally, like continental Europe versus where I'm from, which is Canada, I think the thing that I find so weird is here Christmas happens so fast. So you like buy your tree and you put it up and decorate it like almost some people do it on the
Yeah,
24th.
that's how yeah, that's what we used to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then you have like your dinner on the 24th, your brunch on the 25th. Presents obviously happen on the 24th. And then it's just over, right? Whereas like in Canada, we have our like I, through the magic of Instagram, I get to see people's stories back home and their Instagram stories, and quite a few people in my social network there are already putting their trees up. And when we're recording this, we're in the middle of November. And
Right, right.
yeah, and they have their trees. And, when I was at home, we would do that as well. And then Christmas is, Christmas at home. It would be like Christmas Eve evening, brunch Christmas morning with the presents, hanging out all day, Christmas dinner, a Boxing Day brunch. Like Christmas is a lot longer. And I think that is something that I have found when I'm celebrating with like continental Europeans kind of odd is I'm like, but I want it to be longer. And like,
But it's odd
yeah,
to me that you're saying this because I feel it's the other way around. I mean,
yeah,
except the part where they put the Christmas tree up
yeah,
really early.
hmm
Um, but that whole like Christmas season feeling
yeah,
um is longer because like I mean, at least I can only speak for Germany, like
yeah,
because like you have like the four
markets?
Sundays,
Okay.
leading up to
Oh yeah,
Christmas,
true.
where you like celebrate like
Light
each
the
Sunday,
candles.
counting exactly,
Yeah.
lighting the candles,
Yeah.
and then Christmas itself, it's also like you do the dinner on the
Yeah.
24th, and
Yeah.
like also do the presents on the
Yeah.
24th, and then the
Okay.
25th you spend with family all day, and the 26th you also spend all day with family.
Okay, so maybe it's just like because yeah, the times I've spent Christmas with continental Europeans, which has been quite a few years now. It's kind of like the 24th, the morning of the 25th, and then it's kind of done in a way.
Yeah, it is kind of, because it's like
Yeah.
I feel like it's, but 26th is also still like a holiday, but then it's a
Yeah. But
time
in
for
Canada, it's
resting.
a holiday too. So in
Yeah,
the
it is.
US, it's
It's
not, but
not, no.
in Canada, yeah, we also have Boxing Day. But yeah, the other thing too is I don't like opening my presents at night on Christmas Eve after
Oh yeah.
dinner. No.
No, it's so
I've
weird for
had
you.
yeah, well, I've just also too like, I've also usually had wine with dinner, or we've had, some rum and eggnog, and everybody's a little bit tipsy, and then like it's weird to be in that state and it's dark and
Uh-huh.
then open presents. Like I prefer to do it more like in the morning and like our matching PJs, everything's
Right.
fresh.
But
So
I feel like every family is doing that different,
okay.
because I remember like when I grew up, or like when my brother's children were little,
Yeah.
we did presents before dinner.
Oh.
So, and then like after dinner you still have your wine and your chocolates and your
Okay.
Christmas cookies, and then
Okay.
the kids can at least already play with their toys. It's not
Okay.
that you
So
then open the presents
right.
when everybody is drunk.
So because I'm an adult, I'm missing the part about before dinner, and we're just doing it after
Maybe,
dinner.
but it
Okay.
really depends on, I think, the family. Everybody is
Okay.
doing a difference. There is no set schedule how you want to do it. It's
Okay.
everybody's own preference.
Okay. Well, maybe, you know what? Maybe I just need to mix it up and hang out with people from a different part of Europe next year and do the presents before dinner. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, Christmas is the 25th, but for
Uh-huh.
Europeans, it's more the 24th,
Yeah,
right?
it
So I
is.
think,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's yeah, this is kind of like this year as I'm spending Christmas in Edinburgh, my friend who I'm spending Christmas with is Irish.
Mm-hmm.
So and I've spent Christmas with her previously actually in Ireland, and it's much more like similar. There's they do the dinner and everything on the 25th. They do the
Mm-hmm.
presents in the morning on the 25th, and then on the
Sure.
24th they usually go to, I don't know, maybe dinner somewhere, like a pub or something. So we'll be doing that kind of a vibe this year, and I'm actually like really looking forward to that. But I'm really excited because I just find like British people get so into Christmas. Like the pubs are
Okay.
decorated, the lights, like they have their markets. Like in London, they have a whole Wonderland like theme park for Christmas.
Yeah.
And yeah, and like people wear like, Santa Claus costumes and Grinch costumes when they go out. And like I love the
Mm-hmm.
energy in the
Sure.
UK with Christmas. So I'm really, really excited to like feel that the Christmas spirit there like again. So I'm really
Yeah.
pumped. Yeah.
But do you also have like Christmas markets in Budapest?
Yes, we have they say it's one of the best ones in Europe. Is it, or is it not? I have no idea. The nicest one is, I tell you, that I went to is in Switzerland, but yeah, they do have a big Christmas market here, and I go every year and get my mulled wine, and then I become very Hungarian for like 20 minutes and eat what's called a langos. So it's like
Yeah.
a kind of like a deep fried like potato kind of base. It looks like a pizza, and then they put garlic and cream cheese on top with cheese on top of that. So
It's
that's,
very rich.
yeah, it's really rich. But the funny thing, Victoria, is that a lot of Hungarians actually eat that meal at the beach in the summertime.
Oh, really? I mean, I only
Right.
know it from the Christmas markets.
Yeah. So to me, that's just
It's
such
like
a
so
weird.
hot.
Yeah, like you're like, okay, like it's 30 degrees. I'm at the beach. I want to look, cute in my bikini. Let's eat a bunch of deep fried, potato base. Like it's not, it doesn't, the common sense is not sliding into place there. But I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's like their version of like somebody from Canada eating like a hot dog or something, or a burger,
Yeah, yeah,
you
you're
know?
probably right. Yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, but but for me, it suits me much more like as like a winter kind of Christmas market dish
Yeah,
than
yeah.
something I'd eat like at Lake Balaton in the summer.
Yes,
Yeah.
because it's also so hot. I was like, why do I want to
Yeah.
eat that on the beach? I want
Yeah.
ice cream.
Yeah, something light. Like you eat a langosh and you're pretty much like falling over because
Yeah,
it's so heavy. It's not exactly the kind of thing you want to eat and then go for like a big swim, right?
yeah.
So, yeah.
So is there like a traditional Christmas food though that you found there?
Yes, they have fish soup here. So it's like a red-based soup. It's actually really, really good. I've never had it for
Uh-huh.
Christmas because I've never, yeah, we just never
I don't know.
have.
It does not sound so good, honestly.
It's actually really good, I promise.
Oh,
So
okay.
they
Okay.
have restaurants here that like kind of specialize in fish soup. So yeah, but
Hmm.
that's kind of like the go-to Hungarian thing. And I'm a pescatarian. I actually haven't eaten meat in like
I
over
see.
10
Okay, so
years.
you would not
Yeah.
have known like the goulash or the
No, but they don't eat that. They eat fish soup. Yeah.
uh-huh.
That's what most families do. Yeah. And then in
Okay.
Canada, obviously it's like a turkey, but I'm not participating in that. So
Yeah, sure. Okay. So fish soup for Christmas
Hungarians.
dinner.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Let's shot a palinka. Yeah. Let's
Okay.
go.
What is
Yeah.
it called?
Palinka.
Palinka. I think I even
Yeah.
heard that.
Yeah. It's
Not
kind
not
of like vodka in a way. If you've been to the Balkans, it's kind of similar to rakia sort of, but yeah.
okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, okay. So one last question before
Mhm.
we say goodbye.
Okay.
So what are your or could you even make plans for the future? Do you want to stay in Budapest or would you consider moving back to Canada?
Moving back to Canada is definitely not on my radar or my future plans.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely plan to keep my EU passport in good use. Yeah, I've definitely floated around the idea of moving to another EU country. I think if I were to do that, it would be maybe like Portugal or Spain or something like that, somewhere south, because I've done the north quite a bit and now I'm in Central Europe and I've done Central Europe. But honestly, I mean, I signed my lease for my flat that I'm in right now at the end of August, and I will be here for at least basically another year and
Mm-hmm.
just have to see where things are at then. But for now, I'm really, really happy using Budapest as a base and traveling. In the summer, I was in Bulgaria for a month, Croatia. I went to Edinburgh to see Oasis, and Copenhagen and North Macedonia. And I was just in Italy for a month. So I'm traveling a lot, and living in Budapest also gives me the freedom to do that. It's a really good landing pad for somebody like me who has an online business and wants to live as a digital nomad, but also wants to be an expat too. I like to have a base. I don't like living out of a suitcase. So
Sure.
yeah, we'll see how, life unfolds, but for now this is home for right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. And I mean it's true. Like Budapest is kind of in the middle.
Yeah, it is.
So
Yeah.
like it's a short distance to everywhere.
Yeah, and one of my favorite places to go is Italy, and it's very close to Italy, and I was just in Croatia for the first time this summer and I loved Croatia. And yeah, no, I'm pretty, my mother's coming over here for a few months this winter and we'll be in the Canary Islands. So yeah, I mean I'm very, 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 very lucky to get to travel a lot. So while I'm traveling a lot, I really just need my home to be kind of like a base and a bit of like a refuge. And Budapest is definitely checking that box right now. But if that changes and I want to have more of a day-to-day life where I'm a bit more invested somewhere, like, just like daily life, then I'll probably move. But right now it's perfect for where I'm at in my life, and what, my values right now that I'm really aligned with are feeling like free and traveling and being open and having flexibility, and it's offering me that. So I love it for
No,
that.
no, nice. So I guess that's been our recording. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. Thank you so
And
much for having me.
yeah, and so again, you will find all your information in the show notes if somebody wants
Mhm.
to reach out to you.
Yeah, that would be
They
great.
can find you that way or Christina Babic.
Yeah, so it's Christina Babbage, so Christina, and then Babbage is Babich. So, the word bitch with no T, literally. So ChristinaBabbage.com. That's my website, and you'll find all my psychology information there. And I'm accepting new clients. And yeah, it would be really cool to connect with anybody who needs some support right now. I mean, the holidays can be triggering for a lot of people,
Right, yes.
and also challenging too, because for those of us who are living away from home, sometimes you're missing family, or you moved away from home to have distance, but then all of your community is going back and you're just kind of in the place where you're living, kind of like, oh my God, what's going on? And I'm definitely happy to support anybody who's going through something like that.
All right. That's really nice.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was Christina, and you will find all her info in the show notes. And in the show notes, there's also a link to buy me a coffee if you want to support the podcast that way. Or, of course, you can just give me a 5-star rating wherever you listen to the podcast. That would be the perfect Christmas gift for me, honestly. And don't forget to push the follow button. All right. Yeah, that was it from this week's episode. Tune in again next Thursday. And if you don't want to wait that long, feel free to binge all the episodes. And yeah, I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.